是不是有点晃晃啊
Real.
Dude, there was...
What?
Okay. What? Yeah.
What?
No.
Why do I... Okay, I put my glasses on with the beanie. I feel like I look like a hipster or something like that.
You are a gay hipster.
This is now you forever.
Let's just keep sending my face to the chat. I don't care.
You just... I don't know. You look like the average...
You just
Like-
look gay.
You were just so
You just look
unbelievably gay.
so gay. Like, you look
Am I
like you like
actually
men.
You look like...
There we go. I beat by.
Nice!
What a completion.
I set my auto deafen a little bit earlier so that I deafened before the wave, because before I wasn't, and then I beat it the next time I got to the wave.
I wonder why, guys.
Hmm.
Are you gonna do your monologue now?
I am. I'm
Just
going to do my
flying
monologue.
guy?
I will be
Flying
back.
guy?
Alright.
Cool. Bye. This is a level. Honestly, I don't know. I have very little intelligent commentary about this level because it's just buffed high. There's nothing interesting about it. It's here. You can play it. Okay, I was recording audio. Good. It's here. You can play it. It's a level. It's just high but harder. I'm trying to think of complaints I had. I mean, okay, so the problem with this, so I gave High a 1 out of 100, and I stand by that rating. I hated everything about High. I found this much more palatable. I think part of that was because it's an extreme, so of course it's going to be just a little bit more palatable in general. It's going to be more palatable because the payoff is I will have another extreme completed, as opposed to I'll have another insane completed, right? Where like High, any of the really infuriating parts, it's like, oh, and this is in an insane demon. Whereas here, and it's in an extreme demon, okay, that's reasonable, right? It's an extreme demon. It's sort of like maybe a psychological thing for me, but that was some of why this was more tolerable. Some of why it was more tolerable is because it just works. Like, there's no transition bug from the UFO to robot, which is lovely, lovely news. I don't have to worry about that. I found the wave easier? At least the beginning of the wave I found a little easier, right? I don't know. Maybe it's not easier. Maybe I'm stupid. I don't know. It's not bad. There are a few annoying things. The pre-drop duel, the jump. There's one jump. It's the jump after the really annoying spaced out double spike. It's like right towards the beginning, like right at the beginning. The jump after the spaced out double spike. If you jump too early there, you hit the saw above the yellow pad, because you jumped up into it before it had time to move back up out of the way. If you jump too late, you die to the spike past the yellow pad. So that was just kind of an annoying click. It was mostly fine, but it was just unfortunate that it was a very sort of like a blind timing, in the sense that you really don't know where the frame window for it is based on your surroundings. You have to just kind of know to do like a middle-ish kind of click, which was not my favorite. What else was a problem? The duel at the beginning had a few nasty clicks. The pink orb through the spike gap, you know what I'm talking about, is kind of gross. Yesterday it was not a problem at all, really, until like the very end of my session. Today it was like sort of a problem, but it wasn't as bad as it really realistically should have been. That's a really hard click. The one spaced out double click is kind of gross as well, but it's not bad. The black orb towards the end of the duel, I didn't really like. It's mostly fine, but it's just kind of... The black orb off of a platform is not a click I love, just in general. It can be done well, but I didn't think it was done well here, especially because you had to do it so early off the platform. At least it felt like you did. Slow cube part was fine for the most part. Most of it was pretty much free. The ball at the end had 1 or 2 hard clicks. The first click of that ball is tricky, and then the yellow orb at the end of the ball is obviously kind of tough. It mostly synced for me where I could just go bam, 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 and I just kind of evenly spaced it, and it mostly worked. Wave was fine. It was annoying. The spammy up and downy bits when you become the big wave in that wave, I found them annoying in high. I found them more annoying in buy just because it's tighter. I appreciated the D blocks, which I honestly don't know if those were in high. I couldn't tell you. It's been too long. But the D blocks, dude, I'm fucking tired. The D blocks there in the middle, on the middle line thing, were very helpful. I appreciated that. Otherwise, it would have been really, really obnoxious. I'm trying to think. Rest of that wave's fine. The ball is mostly okay. The clicks in the middle are 7 frames, which is nasty when you're the mini ball in like the middle. Those the first 3, I think the last one's a little nerfed, but the first 3 of those clicks are like 7 frame timings on 288, which is kind of gross. I got an okay feel for them and kind of had a visual sort of for it. There was a chance I died to them just about every run. Like there was never a point where I was like consistent enough where it's like, oh, I shouldn't die here. Like there was always a chance I died there. But my pass rate was, I think, better than a coin flip. Better than 50% today, which was good. UFO is fine. On the ULDM, which I did have to take because my computer, I guess, like needs replaced or something. Everything lags when I'm recording. It's nuts. On the ULDM, there's some invisible saws, which is kind of unfortunate. I'm assuming that's a ULDM only thing because the background is black. That was kind of unfortunate, but once you learn the click pattern to avoid them, it's not bad. The click pattern I did worked really, really well for me, so I was never too worried about those. I rarely died to them. The only one I'd ever died to is the very first set, which are past the first 3 clicks, like above and below the player, just past the first 3 clicks. There were some invisible saws there, and those I would die to every now and then, but other than that, it was really not a problem. And then for some reason, this free-ass robot part, I died to like 6 times from 0, probably-ish, which is dumb to me, because this robot genuinely could be in like a low-end insane demon, and I wouldn't really question it. There's nothing hard in it. Like at all. It's just not hard. I think it may have been a case of this isn't hard, therefore I'm not going to practice it, and when I get there from 0 I'm not going to devote brain space to it because the hard part's coming up, because the last ship is pretty brutal. I died at 90, which was unfortunate. The last ship's mostly fine. The last ship is easier than in high, in my opinion, because the dual ship is massively nerfed, which I appreciated a lot. The one problem, I think it was the second gravity portal in that straight fly. You have to like, it's in a part where you're going like up and then like curving back down, and like as the curve starts to flatten out, there's a gravity portal. So you have to kind of swing up into it, and then gravity change, and then kind of like carry the momentum up. It was a little awkward. I think this was an upgrade from High's gameplay. I don't think the level should like be rated because it's literally it genuinely feels like they took High, copied it, pasted it, buffed it, and redecoed it. Like they didn't do any fundamentally different things with the gameplay here, except for you could maybe make the argument in the mini cube part before the drop. You could say there was some new gameplay there, but just about everything else was just like a direct buff to High. I mean, okay, except for the robot jumps up the staircase because you don't have the ground jump, the last jump in High, because you're jumping onto a block that's right next to the ground. You can very easily die to the ground because the ground doesn't have any like headroom at all, so you have to either undershoot or shoot perfectly into that gap. That was like the only thing that was nerfed, but everything else, it's like this is just a direct buff. Well, in the last ship, this is like, but it was just like they took the gameplay from High and just buffed it. It's like, that's not super interesting. If you're going to do a sequel or like a level inspired by or whatever the fuck you want to call this, like do something interesting with it. You know what I mean? Do something to spice it up. It kind of fell flat in that regard. I didn't hate playing it. I'll say I played like ass. Like I say, any of those 6 robot deaths should have been the completion. And the 90 death was kind of expected, but very easily could have also been the completion. This should have been a sub 1k demon. I think part of the problem is I was playing very late at night, 2 nights in a row. Like, I was not playing, like, midday, afternoon when I play better. And also I was in call both times I was playing, so that was somewhat distracting. I don't play well in call, is what I think I'm learning from this exercise. It's just, in general, I do not play well unless I'm playing completely on my own. If I'm in a call, I think I play worse. But, yeah. It's a fine level. I mean, if you beat high, and you can beat stuff in the difficulty range of, like, a low extreme, try buyout, because you're gonna know how to play it from playing high. Like, you are. There's gonna be a few things you need to change, and the rest of the level is just high. It's just high. It's just high. Which is kind of eh. But, like I say, I think it was an improvement. It took some of the really brutal, unfair bits of high and made them more reasonable while buffing the parts that were, like, you know, medium demon, easy demon difficulty in the original. So, I didn't hate it. Not my favorite. Wouldn't recommend it, necessarily, but it was fine. It was tolerable. Very tolerable. Alright, I'm going to cut the recording here now. Bye!